Yeah, it's so nice to be with you. Um, and I'm always so glad to have this opportunity to talk to you. And I hope you register for the next one, which will be February 25th. Today, I'd really like to talk to you about my new book, which is All Pets Go to Heaven. And let me tell you, one of the reasons why I decided to write this book is because I had talked to so many scientists, and amazingly enough, people in the religious field who said that animals don't have souls. Well, let me tell you something. Over 54 years of being a medium and a psychic, how in the world is that true when I keep picking up dogs, cats, and all animals on the other side? Um, that's not a possibility. And besides, everything that God makes, especially as much of a soul as a dog or cat has, how in the world could you ever say that these beautiful, unconditionally loving creatures don't have a soul? I think the reason that we can learn a lot from animals is because they don't care how we look, they don't care if we're sick, they don't care how we are. They, they don't have vengeance, they don't cause wars. They just love us for who we are. And we could learn a lot from animals. I myself just got a new puppy, which is a golden retriever, which will make me have 5 dogs. I had 7 at one time and, lost. I do want to tell you that, there's a lot of stories in here and a lot about the way I feel about animals. But I do want to tell you one of the most, I think, all the stories are good, but I do want to tell you one story, is that there was a family that had a baby, and they had a German Shepherd watching the baby. And they had to go just down the road to get milk for the baby, and they left the German Shepherd with the baby. Well, as they were coming back, they got into a snow blizzard, which was a whiteout, which took them a long time to get back, because I don't know if you've ever been in a whiteout, but you can't see anything in a blizzard. And finally, when they got in to the house, they noticed that the baby's crib was empty and just the German Shepherd was sitting there. Well, the father went to get the rifle to shoot the German Shepherd because he was convinced that the German Shepherd had been hungry and probably ate the baby. And just as he was leveling the gun at the German Shepherd, he heard a whimper. And then he looked under the German Shepherd and realized that the German Shepherd had pulled the baby off of the bed and put him next to him to keep it warm. So this is the kind of stories that you will see and read about. I mean, some of them are really just, just take your breath away or just pull at your heartstrings to show you how many times that they save human beings. And also the fact that they have such a marvelous extrasensory perception. I mean, I have dealt with dogs all of my life. I even raised Rhodesian Ridgebacks at one time, 13 at once. And dogs just sense. They sense when you feel bad. It's almost like they can read your mind. And as far as even knowing when somebody's bad, an animal can perceive that. Also, animals can see spirits, just like children can, when the rest of us can't. Have you ever watched your cat or dog that sits in a corner and looks over in the corner and you can't see anything, but they're staring, or they'll jump up like they're playing with somebody? That's because they are seeing spirits. They can see them like children can. You know why? Because no one has told them they can't. And they have these wonderful brains and minds that are uncomplicated by civilization. What you hear in the background is some of my dogs that are barking. And thank God that I have enough room for them, because I'm telling you the truth. If I had my way, I'd have even more. But people should also go to the pounds and adopt dogs, because there are so many dogs that don't have anyone to love them, that are good, marvelous dogs. And not necessarily purebreds. I mean, you can get one. My grandmother used to say that sometimes mutts are smarter than purebreds, the crossbreeds. But just to be able to love a pet. And my grandmother used to also say, and she was a great, great psychic in her own time in Kansas City, Missouri, she'd say, if people don't like animals, music, or children, run. And I do believe that. Any one of the above, or maybe all. Because there's nothing about animals that hurts you, unless maybe it's a past life thing where I've seen that somebody has been, hurt or chased by a wolf, and then they'll be scared of a dog in this life. But that's an entirely different thing. That's a cell memory. But I am convinced that there are no bad animals. There's just bad people that train animals, even with pit bulls, because they're trained to be that way, and it's come down now in their DNA by man doing it. So I think the way you treat your animals is also how you'll be treated back. But to abuse an animal, I think is just probably one of the worst things. Or children, or elderly is another one of my all-time worst hates. And it's okay to hate evil. People say, oh, you can't hate. Yes, you can. Who in the world